Hey everyone, it's Mickey, and welcome to my personal madhouse. This is my personal YouTube where I talk about things that are personal, stuff that I'm going through, like with my health and with money and stuff. And like I said, um, um, on my um, other YouTube, that times are tough. So that is one of the things. And what I said went into detail on my recent video about the Gatorade Midnight Ice review was that part of the reason my money is, tight is because my mother was laid off from her work during the holidays, and things, you know, I get, with benefits, part of my benefits, I get some of that, but the other part goes towards bills, and I'm okay with that because it's like, you know, need to live, need to have stuff to, you know. So, but with, things getting tighter with that, if you guys could help out, please let me know. Please donate. My primary um, service is Cash App, but you can also donate via Venmo and PayPal. So that would be a tremendous help. You can also go to my Linktree and find um, stuff for. I have my Amazon links in there that I would like to build. Um, start gaming. Seeing some people play games. Some of the games really aren't that hard. So I was like, I can do that, but I really need to update um, my systems. I don't know. I have a small form factor, and then I have a mini tower, or what they call a mini tower. But anyway, so you know, so either one, I could do that, and then I can start streaming, and that could help me to be able to do more. But something I've learned from looking things up on specs and everything from different PCs is that when it comes to power supplies, even if it's like a small form factor, they use the same amount of power. It's a little messed up, or yeah, anyway, that's a little fucked up. Yeah, that is not right. Like, seriously? It's like, no wonder it's so slow all the time. Of course, the power here is not the best, but you know. So I mean, I'd like to do that, and that could help bring in more money. And but until I'm able to get there, then I have to do things like this. I would like to do streams of wrestling. Um, I am not a WWE fan, so I will not be doing any of their stuff. TNA, since they have affiliated with them, I will not be doing their stuff. AAA, I will not be doing their stuff. Evolve, I will not be doing their stuff. I do not like what they represent. I'm a wrestling fan. I'm not a WWE fan. WWE is not wrestling to me. It is. I mean, considering how involved they are with MAGA, and like, come on, seriously. And I don't care, people can say whatever, I am not a fan of Vince. I do not like, dude, people, heard people on TwitX talking about they're milking Owen Hart's death, and like It was wrong. It was fucking wrong. What happened? Milking it? No, they're pissed. They have the right to be pissed. People can say, Martha Hart needs to get over it. No. No. What happened was wrong. There's right from wrong. And I'm not somebody who believes you need to forgive everybody and move on. And, you know, there are circumstances like that to where, I mean, if they went behind Vince's back to get the stuff for Owen to do the drop, if they went behind his back, I would have found out and they would have been fired and put in prison for murder, because what they did is kill him. If Vince knew about it, then I'd put him away for it. And there's a lot of things I'd put him away for, because I don't tolerate that. People will say, well, Trump, you know, oh, but there's this. Seriously, put him away too. In true solitary confinement, alone. Solitary. One. Yeah. Put them away. Don't feed them. Don't. Let's see them go insane. After what they've done to everybody. And you know, people, you know, it's so funny how I hear people say that, you know, when it comes to certain people that did certain things to get the body that Vince wanted, and people saying, well, nobody forced them to take those, nobody forced them to do all that stuff. Well, sadly, when you're brainwashed, you know, you will do, you know, you will do anything. And sadly, there are people, you know, some people use that victim card when they're not. And sadly, I know, yeah. This is a brief summary of what you'll see on here, but when it comes to people doing that, sadly I know about it, and I deal with it. I've been dealing with it my whole life. They're victims. They're nobody else, only them, though. See, I don't do that. Yeah, I'm a victim, but I know other people are as well. I know I've done things that have hurt people. You know, I'm not. I know I joke that I'm an alien, and, you know, I'll elaborate on that later, but, hey, we're all human, we all make mistakes. There are, you know, I'm not somebody who's going to put somebody down for something they do, because, hey, you know, we all make mistakes. It's like, it's okay, it's cool, you know. Hey, I've seen worse, and, you know, I've done worse, so it's like, you know, hey, you know what? It's cool. Don't worry about it, you know. So, yeah, I don't tend to, you know, put people down for something, because we all go through stuff, and, you know, I mean, it takes a lot for me to really hate somebody, you know. There's only really, you know, like, very few. Well, family, yeah. Anyway, so, but I don't hate people. There are certain things, there are certain people that I do not like, and personally, what they have done and what they continue to get away with, and, you know, people say, oh, but it wasn't their fault, and there's this and that, and oh, they never did that. And it's like, there's something wrong with saying you did something. It's what you do after that to improve yourself. You know, don't, you know, I I'm not a religious person. That's not, no, I don't do that. But, there's the saying, don't throw stones, ye have stones thrown at you. Unless you're working on your own problems, don't sit there and criticize somebody for theirs. Work on your own, then criticize somebody. Then you can sit there and like, you have this and you have that, and it's like, you're always gonna love those kind of people who are like, have you looked at your life? You're criticizing me. And there are certain people that can, there's valid excuses and invalid excuses. You can always, if things are right, if you're in, if circumstances in your life are right, and you're able to do certain things, then do it. It's not that, oh, you can't. I always see people that are like, well, you can do something, you're not. Do you know if they can? How do you know? Do you know? You don't know, because you're not talking to them. You're not listening to them. You have your own judgment. You have your own, whatever went on. You can't see reason, and you can't see that certain things that happen, well, for one, might not be that person's fault. I'm not somebody who believes, oh, well, everybody needs to take accountability for their actions, when there are people who, there are people that are victims and people that are not victims. So, when you have, people that are being put in things that they can't control, and the people around them are they're not helping these people, and they know they're weak, and they know they need help, but they're not doing anything to help that. They're just either doing more things to fuel the person to do more bad things, or they're sitting there and like looking at them like, no, I'm not going to help you, even though you can help them. I hate people that can do something, really can do something. There's no reason why they can't, but they don't. It's like, one thing I hate is that I can't do things that I should be able to do for people because of the circumstances that I'm in. I love to be able to spoil the hell out of people and be able to give them, everything, but I can't. And yeah, there's, you do that, and you have people too, they're like, well, you can do something, it's like, so what, I'm not? I mean, it's like, you're complaining, you're this, you're that, and you, I sit here and I have to hear you, complain all the fucking time about stupid things, about, it's like, come on. And I understand you, I care about you, but you won't do that for me. I understand why, I understand everything that's happened, but not even trying. Not even putting in the effort to say, you know what, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I need to put aside things that have happened in the past, and maybe I need to look at, talk to this person and open my mind and my heart and really look at things. But some people don't do that. Some people would rather just be like, well, I know everything and then you don't, so yeah. Like, Okay, yeah, you're perfect, all right. You're so perfect. Because, see, I'm somebody, like, don't call out my faults, because I will call out all of your faults. You know, you want to sit there and do that to me, oh, I can go. You know, and again, I'm not somebody. When you have people like that, and you have to deal with that, you know, it's one of those things where this, you know. But yeah, so that's you know, getting into, you know, what I'll be doing here on my personal YouTube, talking about things, talking about life, talking about how I see things. You know, when it comes to, you know, one thing that you can see, one thing that you can look forward to with me is that I'm not going to defend, you know, say ICE, you know, killing innocent people or killing anybody anyway. I mean, the fact I'm part of my heritage is that I'm indigenous person. I'm from the sky. My ancestry is literally from this country. All these, you know, Christopher Columbus is not a hero. He did not discover America. You know, it's like certain things we were taught to think later on, to learn that you were lied to, and then you have to wonder, why was this allowed in school? Why were we taught this? Why weren't we taught the truth that happened? You know, no one is illegal on stolen land, and this land is stolen. And if all these rich or even poor, sadly, you have people that are poor that are working 3, sometimes 4 jobs, still can't pay the bills. And I'm talking about basic stuff. They still can't do that, and yet they're supporting Republicans. I'll call Republicans, I don't fucking care. Then, you know what? It's like, I don't like politics at all. I don't. Am I happy to see that there are people rising up that are really willing to take a stand, you know, and really fight against the, you know, the typical political field that we've had in this stupid country. I'm not a proud American, and yeah, America, America. No, I ain't like that, dude. So, you know, I'm not somebody who, oh, I'll wear the red, white, and blue, and you know, like, I want prayer back at school, and, you know, and I want, no, seriously, no. This country was not founded on Christian, you know, values. This country was raped and pillaged by Columbus and then all the European, and I'm not putting anybody who's from Europe or anywhere, you know, Columbus wasn't Italian, I'm not going to put down Italians. But, you have all these, you know, people that are like, yeah, we need to deport all the Mexicans. You know, and what I was saying, yeah, I'm indigenous, so the fact that they put indigenous people in ice camps, well, there's something, yeah. The people that, the country that you invaded, and you haven't, I mean, I guess you have learned from your ancestors to continue to rape and pillage a country. You have, haven't you? Because some of these people, you don't want immigrants in your country, even though they won't accept you, go back to wherever you're from. Whether it's, you know, somewhere in Europe, UK, uh, um, I don't think I said Columbus was, I think, like, I think Ireland, no, he's Italian, but it's like, whatever country, it's not even white, it's not even all white people, it's like, people are like, oh yeah, get the poor off the street, well, it seems like, what I've seen, well, someone's doing that, and for someone who's been homeless, I ended up in Newsweek. Yeah, I ended up in Newsweek because I was homeless. So, someone who's been homeless, it is not fun. It is not fun wondering where you're going to sleep. It is not fun begging family members for help. It is not, then of course you have family members who don't get along. I mean, it's like, I'll help you. And then, well, this person gets mad and it's all over. Pain in the ass. It's like, what? I mean, I'm not girly. Like I said in the Gatorade video, I'm not a girly girl. I haven't done it in a long time because I haven't had the money. But I love to get my nails done, and I never get normal colors, because I'm not normal. Like I said, I'm an alien, in the sense where, well, there's a few reasons, but, when there are people that, and I don't like the whole one-size-fits-all kind of thing for people, but, it's like kind of like you hear, like in, teen comedies, to where it's like you have the groups, the cliques everybody hangs out with. I was never part of one. I was like, okay, I have friends. It wasn't a clique, and I'm not normal. I'm not, okay. I don't like labels, so okay, yeah, I'm a fan of Doctor Who, but I guess I really would call myself a Whovian. I like Five Nights at Freddy's, but certain things about how the lore and everything is being handled at the moment, I'm not a fan of that, and so, Fredheads, and well, Fredheads are Freddy Krueger fans, and yeah, I'd say that, but certain things, and I've tried. I always call myself the nonconformist because I could only get so far, and then I'm like, no, this is wrong. Thankfully, I got to that point where I was able to see, I'm not saying that I was perfect, and I was, I've made mistakes, I'm not perfect, but, thankfully, being able to reel myself away from stuff, and then, like, okay, there's, with my health being the way it is, from my hormones going crazy, with my thyroid, and hypoglycemia, and I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, my GERD, acid reflux. Of course, I'm diagnosed because doctors never looked when I kept telling them there was a problem, or they would only do one thing at a time. let me explain something to you. If a person's been going through stuff for a long time, and you say one thing at a time, I need you to think about the logic in that. How does that make sense? We're going to do one thing at a time. So you're going to focus on one thing while these other things are getting worse. And then, because of that, this one thing you're focusing on isn't really going to get better because these things over here are making this worse. Come on. It is not that hard. And you gotta love this with doctors. You come to them with a problem and they ignore you, they don't listen, and you're like, aren't you supposed to be a fucking doctor? You're a doctor. Your job is to make sure that I am in optimal health, that I am doing great, that whatever health problems I have, either they're very diminished or, in my case, all the things that need to be done, we get all these tests done, we find out everything going on, and then we start treatments for it, and then, we'll see where things go. Maybe I don't have to do something for a long time, maybe I will, but, you can't focus on one thing because it's not, sadly, the human body is a very complicated thing. And unless you're psychic or scientist, you don't know everything. And you cannot say something's impossible because science is always evolving. And there are so many things out there, now not only on TV, but on the internet now, the things that you can research and look up where people have had problems where you would go to a doctor and like, oh, that's impossible. No, that's not real. No. And there's proof too. It's not like, oh, well, you saw, like some movie or TV series, No, these are real cases. Like, there was a boy who, somehow he ended up in the family pool, and it was during Super Bowl Sunday. So, hey, look, they got him, called an ambulance, they took him to the doctor. This is in Arizona. Ironically, the same place where the indigenous people were put in ice caps. Gotta love that. So, a nurse, and they have the audio recording. The nurse was like, I feel a pulse, and the doctor's like, I'm a doctor, I think I know what I'm talking about. Oh, do you now? So, they had this baby in the morgue, and it turned out somebody was down there and found him alive. Now he is said to have some brain damage, and hey, you know what? People can say, well, don't be a conspiracy. I hate hearing that. Don't be a conspiracy theorist. There are conspiracies in our life. If there's somebody lying to you, people conspiring against you, everywhere. And the dumbest thing for people to think that your government's not doing that, no, they're not, they wouldn't do that. Come on, not people, not, no, come on. No, they love us, right? 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 No, they wouldn't know. Come on. No. Yeah, okay. Anyway. So, for people to say, oh, you're being a conspiracy theorist, or you're, you're crazy for thinking that. No, there's things happen. There were some, like stuff with Epstein. There was a case before that called the Franklin cover-up that was, if you heard of Johnny Gosch, He was a paper boy that was abducted, and ooh, it's stuff like that. And people say, but that doesn't exist. That's not real. And then, of course, then we hear things like there was a. Now, Boys Town is a. There was a lot of facilities called Boys Town. A few of them were also, they would use them as centers. Like, I think some of them were centers for troubled teens, troubled kids, but also like a summer camp too. But it was also a trafficking ring for pedophiles or PDF files, if to be PC on here. But it's it's like, but that doesn't happen. That's not real. You're thinking too much. Am I? Why did that doctor ignore the nurse saying I have a pulse? Why did that doctor act all high and mighty? Oh, I'm a doctor. I think I know what I'm doing. Do you? Really? Because I got a few things I'd like to do. Come here. Yeah. You know what you're doing? Let's see about that. No. That was wrong. That's not a fatal... That's not an error. That's... It's like everybody makes mistakes, and I can understand. But then there are certain... it's those things to where you're like, why would you make a mistake like that? Why would you do that? And there are people that have commented online saying, I wonder if it's before the person's name came out. He's saying, I wonder if that's the same doctor who told me, one of them said, yeah, you better come up here, and say your final... I had to get my gallbladder taken out, and one of the ERs I went to, because the pain was horrible, they said, well, you have gallstones, hope you can, your insurance covers, you to, get your gallbladder removed and sent me home. Next week or next few days, maybe. Then, it got really bad, and then I went to another different ER, and I was like, thinking, it's nothing, I'll call my mom and tell her I'll be on my way home soon. And the nurse literally said, no, you have a gallstone trying to pass. We're admitting you. Like, oh, okay, yeah, that's serious. That's not good. And people always say, well, everybody has their gallbladder taken out. No, they don't. It's not a standard thing. It's not a good thing. I hate when people treat certain things, well, everybody has that. You're not special for that. Fuck you. Who the fuck are you? It's like it's the people that will ignore a problem. Everything's always about them. It's not even about the people in their clique. It's only about them. Yeah. So, that's a summary. I have a lot, but I'll have videos on topics that I want to talk, and then I'll have videos like this to where, stuff that's on my mind, stuff that's really getting to me at the moment, and, all I ask is to be nice here. There's no need to make fun of people. There's no need to be mean to people. Let's, come together as a community and let's help one another out. And that's helping one another is not by making fun of people. That is wrong. Even if I don't like somebody, and yeah, it is easy, and yes, I do that. I try not to, and it's like, it's hard when with my health, to always to always just be myself, keep having to fight it, and it's, again, not easy. So, but we all get into that where we all get mad at somebody and we want to make fun of them, or we want to say things at them. We're mad at ourselves, or we're mad at somebody, and let's not do that here. I understand certain things, and yes, of course, part of talking about certain things and getting it out is that, I'm not, kind of you need to talk about your problems, you do, and you need to be able to have somebody talk to you about things going on, but that doesn't mean necessarily that you're always somebody who, the problem, you're doing something about it, that's who I am. I'm not somebody who always lingers on it. I'm like, I'm somebody who likes to take action, and yes, sadly, in my life that's been slow because I haven't had the resources that I need to have. So hopefully doing this helps, and you could get something from this, help me out, and I can help you out, and together we can build something really good. I do want to create a Facebook group, not a page, but a group for people to come in and talk about, stuff going on in their life. And, stuff like if they need help with something, if somebody, if they have a, GoFundMe, or, whatever, something where people could come together and help one another out. Because, we need that in this world. And, like I said, I know with my stuff, and, I know money's tight with everybody, but if you can, please help out. It'd be really helpful. And, I have a doctor's appointment, a telehealth appointment, thankfully. I love that they have telehealth. There are some doctors who are overworked, running back and forth, and it's kind of nice to not have to do that and sit down and relax. It's nice to do that. And then you could, especially, having people, when you're going for an appointment, what all you're going to do is, talk about stuff, and it's not something where you're going to really do something, even if you need to get lab work done, you don't necessarily have to need it to have it done right then and there, Sometimes all you need is to talk about what you need. And so I love telehealth for, that, and, it's great, but I also need to get a new pair of glasses and a new lenses, because, with my health and everything, my eyes have gotten worse, and so it's like, so anyway, if you can't help out, again, be nice, subscribe, be nice, let's come together and let's help one another out. No mean comments, no, really, if you want to do that, then I feel sorry for you, because that's just really sad that all you feel you need to do is to put others down. It's really sad that, that you feel that way. And I really hope you get help, and, that you're able to, see that you don't need to be doing that, because that's not helping anybody. So, you find the links to donate below. The Linktree app has my Amazon links. I need a new water bottle. Like I said, I have my big water bottles. The lids have broke on them, and I have this one, but I hate the handle on it, because I have drink mixes that I like to use, and you can't really stir it very well with the handle over here. So I put some in one of my Amazon links. The there's stuff. There's the Amazon link for update one of my PCs, but there's an Amazon link for stuff that I can review on here or on my other YouTube. But also there's stuff that I need, stuff that would be very useful. I put it in there so that you can find it in there, and if you can, please, or if you want to donate the money to me for me to get it, that'd be great too. So yeah, then you'll see me. They have backpacks that have like the like, I don't know, the silicone. It's like plastic, but it has like the bag in there that you can fill with water. I love that. I'd love to have that because I would have that everywhere. Because like literally, I have this, with this is a gallon. So I have like, something like this with me all the time. I love it. I drink about a gallon a day. I drink about a gallon a day. So, it's not easy for me to do a lot of things, and I know with my weight, people, suddenly go to that, oh, you're fat, you're this. I'm like, no, I'm sick. It has nothing to do with what I eat, what I don't eat, how I exercise or anything. There are so many people who do that, and it's like, you can't do that. You can't sit there and think that, oh, this person doesn't work out or this person doesn't. You don't know that. You don't know what that person's gone through. You can't sit there and there's this saying, you don't look sick. Yeah, well, you don't look stupid. And I'm not calling anybody stupid, but it's the point of saying, well, even if somebody doesn't look sick, that doesn't mean they're not. You don't know what that person's going through. So, be like, whatever, and, like, okay, like that, I'm not really shocked by certain things I hear, as far as, it's like, I hear certain things, and yeah, I believe you. A lot of crazy things in this world, a lot of crazy, from paranormal to people plotting behind our backs, all that stuff. Hey, you know what? It doesn't surprise me. So, yeah. So yeah. But yeah, if you can, that would really be great. To be able to have a better water bottle, and then you'll see me holding it all the time. I gotta find a better place to hold it. You know what I thought about once is that when I'm working out, and it's like I don't really want to stop working out, so that I could get like the hat that has the cans on them, and then I have, like, of course, the straw, and then I could have that. I mean, because the bag, like the backpack that has the bag in there that you fill the water with. Well, I could have that with me, but then if I don't have that, I can't have that, and that. Simplest thing, but it's the most expensive. And if you want to get that from me, that's great. I don't have it in any of my list. I'd like to try it though, to see how well it works. Because I really love that idea. I mean, it's like the vape thing where you have, it's hidden in your jacket, and so it's like, yeah, it's perfect. So yeah. I love that, but yeah, I always think about, have the beer can thing, and then you have a straw. It's like, people can make fun of me, but hey, I'm staying hydrated while I work out. So make fun of me all you want, but hey, I'm taking care of myself, dude. Remember that. I'd rather somebody be, creative than, somebody who's, I mean, you gotta love the person that's like, you know, that, you know, even if something, you know, there, whatever something's used for, you can find a different use for it, use it. Some people might think, well, that's just stupid. Well, maybe not. You know. So yeah, I love you guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye.